The two mothers. The rain drummed against the windows of Lincoln Elementary as Maya Chen watched her daughter Sophie skip toward the school entrance, her backpack carefully patched where the seam had torn, bouncing against her small frame. Maya's hands tightened on the steering wheel of her 15-year-old Honda Civic, and she waited until Sophie disappeared through the double doors before allowing herself a moment to close her eyes and breathe. Across the parking lot, Victoria Hammond stepped out of her sleek Mercedes SUV, her heels clicking against the wet pavement despite the weather. Her daughter Olivia emerged from the back seat, designer raincoat pristine, lunchbox from the boutique shop downtown tucked under one arm. Victoria glanced at her watch, a meeting at 10, lunch with the foundation board at noon, then Olivia's piano lesson at 4. She made a mental note to have her assistant reschedule the contractor calling about the pool house renovation. The two mothers had never spoken, though their daughters were in the same third-grade class. Maya worked 2 jobs, morning shifts at the hospital as a nursing assistant, evenings at a call center when she could get the hours. Her ex-husband's child support came sporadically, when it came at all, and her own student loans from a degree she'd never finished still demanded payment each month. She did the math constantly, obsessively: rent, utilities, groceries, Sophie's after-school care, the car payment, insurance. The numbers rarely added up the way she needed them to. But Sophie was bright. Sophie was curious and kind, and so full of potential that sometimes Maya felt her heart might burst from the pressure of wanting to give her daughter everything she deserved. She couldn't afford the tutoring programs or the summer camps or the travel soccer team. She couldn't spontaneously say yes to the book fair or the class trip without first checking her account balance and feeling that familiar knot of anxiety. What Maya could do was show up. She volunteered for every field trip she could take time off for, sitting in the back of the bus with the extra coats and permission slips. She spent her air-free evenings at the library with Sophie, showing her how to research projects, how to find answers to her endless questions. She taught Sophie to cook, to budget, to mend clothes, to find joy in small things: a perfect library book, a successful science experiment conducted with household items, the satisfaction of saving enough coins in the jar for something special. Victoria, meanwhile, navigated a different kind of complexity. She'd built her own wealth through a tech startup she'd founded in her 20s and sold at 32. Her marriage to an investment banker meant financial security compounded on financial security. She sat on 3 non-profit boards, managed a portfolio of real estate investments, and yes, she employed a nanny and a housekeeper because the demands on her time were endless. She loved Olivia fiercely, completely. But she also traveled for business, missed bedtimes, and compensated with things at the best schools, the finest experiences, every opportunity money could buy. She told herself this was good parenting, providing, setting her daughter up for success. She told herself that quality time mattered more than quantity, even as she sometimes caught Olivia's face falling when she had to cancel their plans. The differences between the girls became more apparent as the year progressed. Sophie wore the same rotation of clothes, carefully cleaned and maintained. Her birthday party was at the park, with homemade cake and games Maya had planned. Olivia's parties were catered affairs with entertainers and gift bags that cost more than Sophie's entire celebration. But something happened in December that shifted the dynamic. The 3rd grade class was doing a project on community helpers, and each child was asked to present about someone who helped others. Olivia chose to interview her mother, learning for the first time about the non-profit Victoria had started that provided technology education to underserved communities. As she researched for the presentation, asking questions she'd never thought to ask, Olivia discovered that her mother had grown up poor herself, had worked her way through state school, had built everything from almost nothing. "You never told me that," Olivia said, something like wonder in her voice. Victoria paused, realizing she'd been so focused on giving Olivia advantages that she'd never shared the struggles that shaped her. "I wanted you to have it easier than I did," she said softly. Sophie, meanwhile, chose to present about her mother. She spoke with pride about Maya's work at the hospital, how she helped people when they were sick and scared. She talked about how her mom volunteered at school, how she was teaching Sophie Spanish using free apps and library books, how they were saving up together for a trip to see the ocean someday. The presentations happened on the same day. Both mothers attended, sitting in the small classroom chairs at opposite ends of the room. As they listened to their daughters speak, something unspoken passed between theme recognition, perhaps, of the universal weight of motherhood, the constant fear of not being enough, the desperate hope that you're doing right by these small humans you'd give your life for. After the presentations, as parents mingled over grocery store cookies and juice boxes, Victoria found herself standing next to Maya. "Your daughter is lovely," Victoria said. "Sophie speaks about you with such admiration." Maya smiled, surprised. "Olivia's presentation was wonderful. You've done remarkable things." They talked for just a few minutes, but it was enough to crack open assumptions. Victoria saw the tiredness around Maya's eyes, the careful quality of her clothing, and recognized something of her younger self. Maya saw past the expensive exterior to a mother who, like her, was trying to figure out how to raise a good human in a complicated world. Neither woman's life changed that day. Maya still struggled with bills. Victoria still grappled with work-life balance and the guilt of privilege. But both mothers left with a subtle shift in perspective, understanding that wealth and poverty are complicated things, that good parenting transcends economic status, and that perhaps the richness that matters most can't be measured in dollars at all. Sophie and Olivia, oblivious to the class dynamics their mothers navigated, became friends. They traded books and shared lunches and taught each other different things, as Sophie showing Olivia how to make friendship bracelets from embroidery floss, Olivia sharing her tablet for educational games they could play together. And their mothers learned, slowly, that there are many ways to be rich, and many ways to be poor, and that the measure of a parent isn't found in a bank account but in the love, time, and values we pass to the next generation. Both mothers, in their different circumstances, were doing the best they could. And perhaps, in the end, that was enough.